We're live.
Oh!
Win this?
Cheers!
Cheers. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How is everyone? Today, Katie and I, we're chatting about loneliness and ways to feel connected.
Yeah.
And it's a topic that I think is close to both of our hearts, isn't it? And I think as well it's a topic that isn't often talked about because I think people can often feel a little bit like they don't want to say, oh, I'm feeling a bit lonely.
And I think people get like confused the fact that it feels like it's a popularity contest, but that's not what loneliness is.
Exactly. And I think, you know, at some point in all of our lives, we've all felt, we've all felt disconnected and we've all felt lonely. And probably, the whole COVID time. I mean, that was an incredibly lonely time, wasn't it?
But I think everyone experienced loneliness at some point.
But I actually think the times you can almost feel your most loneliest, I can't even speak. Lonely is when you've actually got a really busy life and lots of friends, but you can still feel an internal loneliness.
Yeah, absolutely. You could be at a party with like 100 people, but you can still feel lonely.
Yeah. So today in this live, Katie and I just wanted to chat through our experience of loneliness and also share about what we've done to, overcome that.
I think, and also this live that we're doing now came about from our little chat we had yesterday when we went for a coffee.
Yeah.
We started talking about it and thought, actually, this might be something that other people can relate to and sort of get involved with.
Yeah, and I think as well, sometimes you can assume people wouldn't, certain people would never feel lonely. So I just think it's good to talk about it. So I think it's really important to normalise feeling lonely. And actually, we were just chatting before we went live and we said, you can feel lonely for prolonged periods, but you can also feel lonely in any given week, for a day.
Yeah.
And we thought, well, let's share how we felt in the past and let's share about what we've done to counterbalance that.
Yeah.
But what we would really love is if you could share your experiences or your advice or your tips or just how your thoughts. I mean, ultimately, we'd love hearing back from you.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Beauty and the Boutique such a special community because it's about, I think counteracting loneliness is being really honest and vulnerable and sharing how you feel and how we feel because then it normalises normal everyday feelings.
Yes, totally. And also it's quite nice to hear other people's experiences and how maybe you've got over these things. You can read each other's comments as well, which I think really helps like building a conversation about it.
I love that. And I think as well, like especially when you're looking through social media and you're seeing people having like amazing times, that can make you feel lonely because you're like, that isn't my life at the moment, or that isn't my life today.
I've had things like that before. I've actually had to come off because I've seen people on their summer holidays, and that year I didn't go on holiday.
Yeah.
And then you see everyone having an amazing time, and I actually just thought, I feel so sad and lonely, and like I'm the only person in the world that isn't away.
Yeah.
But you sort of have to just reframe it in your mind, don't you? Really.
Yeah. So maybe a little bit closer to me, Katie.
Sorry.
Connect with me.
I'll connect
we
with
said
you, my
because
friend.
we're filming on this on my phone. We were like, we have to be touching shoulders to know that we are both in the frame.
And we've had our mints.
And we've had, I haven't. I bet I've got really bad coffee breath. But so, I mean, I think especially with the rise of working from home and for the last, 10 years, 15 years, just the popularity of texting instead of phoning people.
Yeah.
I think loneliness is probably at its most
absolutely.
whatever I think loads of people feel lonely. So I thought it'd be really nice, Katie, if you share about when you felt your loneliness and I share about times when I felt really lonely. And then after we can talk about things that we've done to help feel more connected.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing. It's about feeling connected.
Yeah,
is ultimately
it is. Very much so.
Well, I'm going to say, for my loneliness, I think a lot of people with children will experience this. After I had my children, I felt really, really lonely. And it's crazy because you're so busy and you've got so much going on, and you'd think, well, that wouldn't be a time to be lonely. But in fact, I think it is my loneliest time. And even though you can be with lots of other mums and lots of other people and who are super lovely, but you need to find your tribe. So if you haven't got people that you're really connected to, you still feel that sort of isolation. So I think for me, that was where I really struggled.
And what was it in particular that would make you feel lonely any given day? Because you've got this bundle of love with you. But what is it, the feeling of like, I'm in my own head and in my own thoughts thinking, am I doing things right? How are other people feeling?
Maybe that's the case. Maybe it is that I'm not connecting with other people. Maybe it's a case of, because I'm so busy in my own thoughts and my own new baby and struggling with that I'm actually not opening myself to be connected. Maybe that's a reason. But I think when you meet up with other people and they're also going through, I think, the similar thing where they're telling you what's going on in their life, but it doesn't resonate particularly with me.
Is it, do you think as well, when you go through a massive life change and when you have that massive, massive life change, which having children is, that you've almost got to be like, it's discovering new parts of yourself and new challenge and new
because it's like your whole world has been tipped upside down, isn't it, essentially? And like you say, if it's a change of life, if it's you move into a new house or to a new job, a new school or what have you, it's your world is like tipped upside down, so you've got to start from the beginning again, which is really hard. You're out of your comfort zone. And I think that's a lot of other things as well. To counteract loneliness, you need to feel like you've got confidence to do something about it, because it's easy just to sit in it.
But ironically, I think when you feel lonely, you can feel quite in your own head a lot. And isolated. Then when you feel isolated, I think that's when you can sometimes feel your least confident. Absolutely. Can't you?
But that's sort of how I managed to get out of feeling that lonely, actually, was being, right, okay, I'm getting invited to stuff that I didn't want to go to.
What would you get invited to?
Baby swimming classes, or we're going up to here and going for a walk, and just things that I was too tired. I didn't want to do these things. But I actually said to myself, right, if I want to get out of this, I need to start saying yes to everything, because the more you put yourself out there, the more chances are you're going to find someone you're connected with. The more people you meet, the chances are you're going to be more connected. And just, sharing experiences and being face to face with people, I think makes a massive difference. So I just said yes to everything. And eventually that became quite normal. And then it sort of pulls you out of that lonely sort of rut that you get yourself in. But it's hard. You have to work at it. It's not an easy thing to do.
So for you, it was, when you were feeling your most exhausted, and when there were things going on that you could go to, whether that was baby groups or
even nice things for come out with meals with friends.
When it was when you really didn't want to go because you were feeling just so tired and so exhausted, it was you pushing through that to be like, if I don't, I am just going to
stay in this continuous loop of loneliness.
And then when you did go out, because actually we were chatting to some of our friends at work yesterday, and one of the girls here, she's just come back to work from having a baby, and she was saying that on her maternity leave she went to a went to a library, and it was like this Duplo play thing. And she met someone there, and she was like, I had a really good laugh with them, and they really connected on that humour. And then she was like, I really want to get her number, and I really want us to become friends. And then she'd said that she kind of said her inroad to making friends was to say, oh, so do you come to this? Do you come to this class often? And the other girl had said, no, actually, I don't live here. I'm just, I'm just here for the day, sort of thing. And our friend at work kind of took that as a bit of a brush off.
Being dismissed.
But I mean, from an outsider's point of view, I just see it as normal. She probably didn't know that she was trying to make friends and needed maybe to be a bit more like, oh, let's go for a coffee or something like that. But interestingly, our friend at work had said after that experience, it knocked her confidence.
Yeah, and she didn't want to try again.
She didn't want to try again. And I think it is that, you know, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, you're not every time you're not going to meet people and go, right, let's meet up and go out and it's going to be great and perfect. Yeah. Especially when you meet new people, it's hard, it's uncomfortable. Yeah. When you're out with your friends that you know, it's easy, but when you go to a new place and you meet new people, you really have to work at that. Yeah. It's not an easy thing to do, but once you've done it, almost like, okay, I can do this, and then you meet more people. It's like a ball that gets rolling, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. So, is there any other times that you felt lonely in your life?
Well, probably, I think, like you say, moving house or moving jobs. I can remember having a job years and years ago and starting and being, I'd work through my lunch hour. I would do everything I could just because I didn't have any friends or anyone I knew. So you just feel really isolated and lonely.
Really not nice though that people didn't offer to go on lunch with you if you're new.
Here. It's not.
I'd be like really like,
I'll take you to dinner. I'll buy you a holiday.
When someone new starts here at Beauty in the Boutique, there is like a whole like schedule.
I think they're scared.
There's like no, they start. We're like
we'll go for lunch.
We're gonna go for lunch. You're gonna go. You know, they're never left. No. Like I couldn't bear to do that to someone at a new job. That's
quite normal. I think we're quite unique in that way. I think a lot of people are right. Sit there, get on with your job.
Oh no, it's a terrible way to be.
No, exactly.
Like I think work is about building as much as it's about enjoying what you do and working. It's about building friendships.
Yeah, like absolutely.
Work's massive for me for friendship.
Some of my greatest friends I've met through work.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But we spend a lot of time there, don't you? So you get to see these people. But I don't know. I think I have to. Every time I have felt lonely like that, it is down to me to go, right. Okay, I've got two choices. I either carry on feeling this way, or I've got to do something about it. And obviously, I'm allowed to wallow in it for a little while.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a really normal feeling, you know, that it's really normal to feel like that, but it's also being accountable for your feelings of loneliness in the sense that the only person that's going to be able to fix that is you. Yeah. And it's got to come from you. No one's going to fix it for you.
No. But it does happen quite quickly. I think once you start making that effort, it does seem to roller coaster and you get your confidence. But the two, I definitely think are linked together, confidence and the loneliness.
Oh, yeah, massively.
How about you? What would you say was your most loneliest time?
Well, I think I've had quite a few lonely times, actually. I mean, certainly when I was in my early 20s, I dropped out of university. It just wasn't for me. And then, like, leaving all my friends behind, my new friends behind that I'd made over the kind of year and a half, 2 years. And then also coming back home and all my old friends were off. They either had, like, they're off at uni. So that was a really, really lonely time. I
suppose you don't have the same connection anymore.
I didn't know any, you know, everyone was off and all my friends were like miles away. And that was, I think that was probably one of the first times in my life that I was in my early 20s and I just felt, and I just kind of developed psoriasis and I'd got terrible acne. And I
suppose that makes you become more insular anyway.
Yeah, it made me feel really insular because I didn't actually want to go out and anyone see me because I had covered in my, I was just like, I remember someone seeing me and asking me if I'd been in a fire. It was awful. God. Yeah, it was that bad. And then I was like, well, I can cover my body, but then I got terrible acne, and then I was just like, I just didn't want anyone to see me, and that,
I mean, that's going to lose your confidence very fast.
Yeah, and then with that I just felt incredibly lonely, and I think that feeling of loneliness stayed, just that feeling of like not, just made me feel really, that was an awful time. And then other times, moving into my, later on getting married, getting divorced, coming out of a divorce and feeling like all your hopes and dreams, what you thought was going to be, wasn't. And
I suppose all the friendships you make around a marriage as well tend to change. And then
and just feeling like you've got to start feeling like you've got to start your life again. And
yeah, you think you got it sorted.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll start again.
Yeah, it was awful time, and financially it was awful. I lost everything. I lost my home. I lost, I'd lost absolutely everything, and just had to start again. And I mean, I will say, it does build resilience. And I think, if anything, it's helped me build, I feel like I'm pretty good at making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely built resilience.
Something has to come from all of these things, doesn't it? Otherwise it's a waste of feeling that terrible. You need to pull something out of it. And
I also think that it's made me really, really value friendships and nurture friendships, because I feel that, I mean, obviously I'm remarried, and
who's that? Does
Crispian know? I'm remarried to Crispian. You might or might not know Crispian. He is sometimes in these videos. But I think, and when I met him, I'd been divorced a couple of years, but when I met Crispian, I felt like, I was like, I felt a bit like Used Goods, actually, and I felt a bit like, I don't know. It was just a bit of a weird time. But, and then I did, and then obviously being with Crispian was, just, we've got such a great, friendship above everything, and we have such a good laugh together. But then, when we were together, and then, like, as I got into my, like, sort of like late 30s, early 40s, having a family didn't happen for us. So funny enough, what you saying, having children and feeling lonely.
Make you feel lonely.
When, for me, it was all my friends, I wouldn't say all my friends, but the majority of my friends had families. And I just felt like, what's my role in life?
Yeah. Well, you're disconnected from them,
and I've just felt like they were all making friends at the school run, friends at the school gate, and I just felt a bit left behind. Yeah. And I found that really lonely. But I mean, I will say, I've got some, some of my bestest friends have children, and I've managed to navigate friendship with, we've always had that in common, even though that didn't happen for me, and I'm godparents to lots of children.
Got quite a few godchildren.
I've got loads of godchildren, which is amazing. But it was just that feeling of don't feel like I fit in, and I guess that feeling of I don't feel like I've got a tribe. How did you get
on from that? I mean, obviously, I know you.
It did last for quite a few years, actually, and I think it wasn't until I did make some amazing friends that also, for whatever reason, having children hadn't happened for them as well. And I think that was solace, because it was have different types of friendships, and so that really helped. And like for me, when when we didn't have a family, I was like, well, I need to I threw myself into work, really. And I remember before Beauty and the Boutique days, again, when I went through my divorce, I threw myself into work there, and it was kind of like, I don't think it cures loneliness, but it just gave me purpose, and that's what I felt like I really needed, was really strong purpose. And then starting Beauty and the Boutique in that time, I started Beauty and the Boutique when I was 34. I'm now soon to be 47. So in those sort of early years of the business, the first few years were, it was me on my own working out of a spare box room bedroom thing for years, just trying to build it. Oh, sorry, I've got dogs on my lap and they've just farted. Oh, Bonbon.
I don't want to say.
Bonbon. It's not me.
Have a mint, Bonbon.
So, that was really low. But then I remember I got, oh God, I'm going to sound like a typical cat lady, but I did get a cat.
Do you want my mug?
That is my mug, actually. I got a cat in the first years of building Beauty in the Boutique, and I remember, like, this is how sad I was. I used to make myself, and I know this isn't even very, don't judge me, but I used to make myself like a tuna salad for lunch, and then I'd make Raggy, that's my cat, tuna as well, and then I would put his food up near my food, and we would eat our lunch together.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But it was just like, he was like, you know, and I could put all like my maternal instincts into him.
Did Crispin have to eat his in the kitchen on the floor?
Crispin was at work. Crispin wasn't working at Beauty in the Boutique then, because it was just me, and we had like, it was like the early days. We had no money whatsoever. It was awful. And then kind of over the years, I've built a fur family. So I now have 4 dogs and 3 cats. And it's like become,
so
I think I'm quite a maternal person.
Do you know what you are really nurturing? You like to look after.
I love to look after people, and I like to fix.
Yeah, and I think that's with the dogs particularly.
I mean, what you can't see, I've got Bonbon here, and then over here we've got
he's asleep in his little bed.
Sleep in his little bed. We've got Bam Bam, and the other 2 dogs. It's Bam Bam that's farted. Actually, Bam Bam, you stink. The other 2 dogs are at home with Crispy today, and the 3 cats as well. But that for me, like, animals have just been the best thing for me ever.
Best antidote for loneliness.
I can put, you know, if I feel they have transformed my life in terms of. I can nurture them. I can feel maternal towards them. I love them to bits. And also, going out for like dog walks, it's so amazing.
And you meet so many people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've walked with people for like an hour. I don't know their name, but I know their dog's name. But again, that's another little thing to push yourself to meet new people, is get in there quickly and just say, oh, hi, my name is. That sounds like a really silly thing to say.
Because I only know the dog's name.
Also, if you leave it too long, then it feels weird. After the hour, then saying, oh, but my name feels a bit more weird. Yeah. So get in quick and just go, my name is, then they'll tell you your name, and then that's that first
So what would you say, like, your dogs would meet and you go, oh, this is...
sorry, my dog's barking at your dog. No, I would sort of like, oh, hi, say hello to the dog. Oh, I'm terrible at smiling and say hello to dogs. Say hello to the dog, and then just have a little chat. Like, how old is she? He, blah, blah, blah.
Go, oh, my name's Katie.
Yeah, and then, oh, my name's Katie. And then they automatically will say, oh, my name is so-and-so.
Yeah, that's so good. I think the name thing is just...
getting quick.
Yeah, getting quick, and then trying to remember the name. So I always remember the dog's name and never the owner's name.
That. But then that's okay, because when you've already got that relationship, so the next time you see them, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Yes.
And then that brings it back again, because chances they've probably forgotten yours anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But a few people I've met dog walking, actually, that I walk now with regularly, who I've just met out and about. But so that's the thing with having pets. And even if you can't, you can't have a dog, or, it's too much responsibility, you've got too much going on, there's loads of places that you can borrow a friend's dog. There's even websites to borrow people's pets, isn't there?
Walk their dogs. Yeah, that's a really good way.
People favours, walking their animals.
There was a really lovely charity, actually, that my mum was looking into when... this was a long time when my dad died. She looked into walking people's pets that perhaps it was a charity, and I'm sure they're everywhere, but people that are too ill to walk their animals, you can go and volunteer to walk.
How nice is
to
that,
walk their pets, or come in and like give their little pets
That's
a
a win-win.
Isn't that lovely?
Because it's the same thing with like loneliness and things like that. But even stuff like volunteering.
Yeah.
You're helping someone out, which also makes you feel good anyway. So that sort of boosts your confidence. But at the same time, you get to meet loads of new people.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a win-win, really. You don't have to commit to, I'm going to do it all the time.
Yeah.
But
and
when
also,
you can,
when you help someone, or a organisation or whatever it is, it actually it's 2 things. One, you're meeting and connecting with people that have a similar interest in whatever you're volunteering for, but also it makes you feel real. This is going to sound hippie-ish, but it lifts your heart, because when you do lovely things for someone else, you're really doing a lovely thing for yourself, because it makes you feel really whole, and it just feels wholesome and lovely.
Yeah, it does. I don't even think that's weird to say that. I think that's a totally normal thing.
Yeah.
You help people, you're getting something out of it yourself, but it feels good to help people.
That's kind of like my secret power to making friends, actually.
What's your secret power?
Well, you experienced that because...
you hooked me in.
I hooked you in.
Yeah, I was definitely hooked in.
So
can't get out now.
No. So my way of helping, like my way of making friends, and I've got such a beautiful friendship group,
quite eclectic as well.
Very, very different people. I don't even know if everyone would get on with each other. They probably would, but just very, very, very different. But I meet randoms, like...
You collect people.
I collect people. One of my friends, Kelly, I don't know if she'd be watching this, she lives in America. I met her when I was buying some tights in a department store, and she served me, and I don't know what it was. I just felt like she was going to be a really, really good fun and really just nice person. And she was serving me on the till, and I was like, random question, but do you want to go for a coffee when you finish here?
No. Step away.
Said yes.
Perfect. She gave me the option.
Because I feel like we had a little chat over the till, and it was like a nice chat.
Yeah.
And then and when she lived in the UK, like, oh my God, we were inseparable for a couple of years while she was in the UK.
Lovely, yeah.
And now she lives in America, and
you're still in touch, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean she's
but you know, that's not a silly thing, but
but that does take a bit of guts. But I'm not too worried on getting rejection.
No,
rejection doesn't bother me.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like we were saying earlier, it's okay. Sometimes it won't work out, and sometimes
and
it does.
I think that's the key, because like another time we've got a new neighbour, and I text her and I was like, oh, do you want to go out for a girly dinner? And she couldn't make it, but I didn't really take that as a rejection. I just thought, oh, cool, no worries. Well,
just keep trying every day.
No, but like, I think if you can build a thick enough skin to not let rejection worry you, because my theory is you're good people, you're nice people.
Yeah.
Like,
what's the
worst that can happen? And it's kind of like, well, doesn't matter. It's like,
doesn't matter.
Just get up, dust yourself off, and keep going.
And essentially,
it's kind of
it. It doesn't matter. It seems so big in your head, but it really isn't.
Yeah. And like, that's how we met, wasn't it? When years ago, I was mates with your sister before I was mates with you, and your sister had said, oh, my sister. So before Beauty in the Boutique, I was working as a makeup artist and a stylist, and Katie's sister Sarah had said, oh, would you help my sister out?
She got a shocking sense of clothes.
She didn't at all, but she said, could you help my sister? Could you do me a favour and just take my sister shopping?
It's only because I'd had my youngest child, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's what had happened.
You felt really like you felt like you'd lost your identity.
Yeah, I was wearing maternity clothes 2 years in. That's where I was at.
So we met up. I took you shopping. I think you.
Oh, it was good.
I mean, it was a really good day.
I had to pull over at one point and have a little cry because we'd been shopping for 10 hours.
I know. But it wasn't.
We can still do that though.
Yeah, we can still do that. And then from that, I was like, right, what I want you to do is push yourself out of your comfort zone and wear stuff on the school run. So you're wearing your wardrobe.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, and text me, like, when you do. Because that's my inroad, is like, I'll
get her.
I'll hook her in. She won't want to be without me.
Yeah, she won't get back.
I'll get her addicted.
She won't get back from this.
But no, so I think, and you know, I'm not saying everyone is got that to help, but everyone's got something that they can do for someone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone has got everyone has a little superpower that they can use to help someone else.
Yeah.
And I think when you help someone, it takes the pressure off of making friends, because
it's your in, isn't it?
It's your in. You could be like, there could be someone that, I don't know, is, who knows what in a casual conversation, you're like, oh, well, I'll help you do that. Or, oh, I can do that for you. And it just gives you your in to be, to nurture and grow something.
You've said this before, which I really liked, was like, you know, if you go to a party, you don't know any, or you only know like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
If you get there early and then ask the host if you can help.
Yeah.
It gives you a purpose, and you don't feel so like weirded out or icky about the whole situation because you're there doing a job, but at the same time you're meeting new people and it just eases you into a situation, doesn't it?
Which, should we talk about some of the, I know we've mentioned about some of the solutions to loneliness, you saying pushing yourself to say yes to invites.
Yeah.
You know,
even if you don't want to do it,
even if you don't fancy doing it. And do you know what? I think it's so easy to say no to things because you can text no, but to really just think, I need to put myself out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like exercise, which I hate. I haven't done for ages, but I know after I've done it, I feel good for it. And that's
just
the
getting
same.
into a routine, isn't it?
It's the same, but when you say yes to things, it gets you, it grows your confidence. And yes, I've always said, confidence never, ever just happens. And when you say, I'm waiting till I feel confident, you will wait forever because that confidence won't come. The only way confidence happens is by you doing. And those bits of doing grows your confidence.
Yes, absolutely.
It's the only way. It's like when people say, oh, I don't feel confident enough to wear that yet. Like, well, just wear it around the house.
Yeah.
And then
just
grow your confidence.
And
it's like you, oh, I don't know if I feel confident enough to, you know, say to that person, do you want to go for a coffee?
Yeah.
Well, be realistic to yourself and think, well, they might say yes, they might say no. But ask them.
And then you've got the options. You've done your bit, haven't you?
Yeah, and it grows your confidence. It grows your confidence for the next time.
Now, I know something that we haven't mentioned, which is a little tip that you're really good at.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to get good at. You know about feeling connected. You know when you, like, I'll message a friend and just go, oh yeah, did you have a good day today? Text.
Yeah.
You always send me little video messages.
Yeah.
And to receive a video message when something that could have been text, one, it's great because you can have a longer message.
Yeah.
It's so nice to actually see someone's face. Now, whether it's either a FaceTime or it's a video message, it feels so much more connected than just reading a text message. And I'm trying to get really good at this.
Well, interestingly, like I do a lot of, when I message friends, I will do a lot of video messaging. I'll do a lot of voice messaging. The simple reason is that I'm dyslexic and typing a message just hurts my brain. So it's actually quicker for me to do a voice note or do a video message. But I do think the person that's receiving that does feel a lot more like connected.
Yeah, they do.
But I do think, because Crispian had said to me, he said, just make sure when you send someone a video message that you don't expect a video message back, because it's not nice to put that pressure on people, because not everyone is confident with holding the phone and speaking into it. But if you do have, like, perhaps a family member that you feel confident enough to do that with, or perhaps a really close friend, I do think, like, sometimes we video message or voice message, or even after work we'll message each other. Yeah. Just about funny things from the day that we have to relive.
That keep laughing about.
That we have to keep laughing about. But it does make you feel much more connected. And I think, sadly, I don't know about you, but certainly for us, is that friends don't phone as much.
No, I'm guilty of it. I don't phone people. I'll text people, but I won't phone. But I think everybody's becoming much more isolated, just generally. You know, even when you go to the shops now, I can't even talk to a cashier because I have to do a self-service checkout, and it's just those little things that could be the only conversation they have all day.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just it means you have to work a lot harder to stay connected.
Yeah, and I do believe, you know, sometimes you don't want to phone someone because you think, oh, I don't want to interrupt their day, or perhaps you're thinking, we're all so busy, aren't we? Yeah. That you're like, I haven't got the time for a full phone conversation. But, you know, if you do voice notes or little, you know, even a voice note, it helps build that build that connection.
It really does. And
really
if you ever get a voice message or like a actual video message, see how it makes you feel, because it really does bring a little smile to my face when I get video messages.
It absolutely does. And the other thing we were chatting about is that when you meet up with a friend, it's making sure at the end of your time together you put in the date for the next time that you catch up.
Because also I've noticed, like, you can say, oh, let's meet up on the 15th. If you can't do it nearer the time, then you can reset another date.
Yeah.
But you have to have something solid in there, otherwise it just rolls on.
Yeah, because I think life just gets busy and then you forget, and then you find you haven't seen a mate for like months on end.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
Something that I'm going to read a message actually that we got sent yesterday from a very lovely lady called Cindy, who's a member of our community.
Got it.
And I felt like Cindy just really spoke about something that isn't often spoke about when you talk about loneliness. So I'm gonna read this to you, and then I want you and I to chat about ways that we could work on this.
Yeah.
So Cindy goes on to say, we all experience loneliness, even within a big friendship circle. Coming home to oneself, embracing our heart's desire, and knowing we're worthy of a life we dream of can help to alleviate the loneliness. I believe what we're lonely for is our own self, the one we've forgotten about. And I just thought that was really, really poignant.
Well, essentially, it's making friends with yourself, isn't it? It's
getting
yourself first.
It's getting to know yourself. And I think as you get older, you naturally do get to know yourself more and more. But I also think that, you know, if you have a busy, busy life, you sometimes are so busy looking after everyone else in your life that you do forget about yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
And you forget to nurture to nurture yourself. And I think, you know, it's all very well saying, oh, get some me time. But I know as soon as I get some me time, I just want to watch some sort of Netflix.
When I've got
something.
me time, I think,
I just
I'll
want
do
to
some
switch
washing or I'll change the beds. That's me time. That's so sad. That's a goal for my new year. Me time is changing the beds.
So, all right then. So, for example, I mean, you can't say doing house admin chores is me. Like, what can you do?
Because the only thing I do in my me time is chores, because otherwise.
Is that because you have? So this
Sorry,
is
we're digressing.
So that means that you haven't scheduled in.
Right. So this is.
I know, like, scheduling in me time at home, let's be honest, never going to happen. There's too much to do.
No. But I did start something. This is a bit off topic.
Yeah.
But I feel, and I think a lot of people feel like this, if I have any spare time, I think I should be sorting out that room, or I should be emptying that wardrobe, or I should be doing something. So the only way I got over this was on a Sunday, I booked myself in 2 hours where I was allowed to do nothing. And I wasn't allowed to do anything else other than what I wanted to do, just for myself. Then once that time's up, I'm like, right, now I'll get on with my chores. And the reason I don't have to book that time is I feel guilty if I don't. And the guilt is overwhelming. If I sit down and do nothing, I feel guilty because I should be doing something else. Yeah. But if I've booked it in, it feels like, oh no, I'm scheduled to do this.
Yeah. Which I've got to say, that's a really good point, Katie, because there's a big part about having purpose and planning your day to have purpose.
Yeah, have an actual schedule to
have an actual schedule. So I remember some time ago I was speaking to someone and they said my Sundays are incredibly lonely because she'd lost her husband and you know, Sunday's seen as kind of like family time, and she was like, that Sunday is her loneliest day. And what she was doing to counteract that, as I said, loneliness doesn't have to be like something that you feel for an extended time. It can be, you can have particularly lonely days. And for her on that Sunday, she was like, do you know what? I started to schedule my Sunday and I'd be like, right, I get up, I go for a walk, I make myself a nice lunch, and then, you know, I go and potter around. I don't know, maybe she goes to the shops, whatever she would do.
But just actually book it in.
But she would plan her day so that she was feeling like she was filling the void of that loneliness on that Sunday. And I thought that was a really clever
It is.
Clever
it
way.
Also stops you slipping into sort of just feeling down and you know, like you've got a purpose.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like, I don't like schedules. I like to do what I like to do, but I know I always feel happier when I'm in a routine and a purpose.
I think humans naturally feel happier when we're in a routine. I feel like that's we like routine. We like, you know, we like,
you know where you are, don't you?
Positive habits. One of the when Cindy mentioned in her message about she said, coming home to oneself, embracing our heart's desire and knowing we're worthy of a life we dream of can help alleviate the loneliness. That got me thinking. I thought, well, what if you don't really know what makes you feel connected, or you don't know what makes you feel happy? And I was thinking about that, and then I thought of last week I got myself a new diary, and at the start of the diary there was like these generic questions, and it was, you know, what do you feel your strengths are, what do you feel your weaknesses are, what makes you happy, and I was like, okay, well, I'll start filling this out. And I started writing answers to what the prompts were. And I'm someone, I've never done journaling. I don't really like writing, so I've never thought it would be something that I'd particularly get anything from. But it was really fascinating because I started writing the answers to the prompts. So it was, you know, one of them was, what makes you feel happy? And I started writing that down. And actually what I wrote, I mean, it wasn't like massive, like sort of epiphanies, but I was like, oh gosh, yeah, I forgot I liked that. One of the things I wrote down was, I like art, I like illustration. I'm a makeup artist, but I cannot draw. You know, I can't draw on paper. I'm good with colour and I'm good with visualising an end result, and I can hold a makeup brush and do brilliantly, but I can't seem to put what's in here actually with a pencil on paper.
I've seen your artwork, she can't.
No, I'm not that bad.
Oh, no, she's not.
So, but it was interesting because then I was like, oh, well, how can I develop that interest more? That kind of, I thought I'd forgotten about that interest. And I guess what I'm saying is, if you were to simply write down 2 prompts in a diary on a piece of paper, and those prompts were, what makes you feel connected and what makes you feel happy? Just those 2 questions, and then you write your answers to them. I think from that, you'd find it quite surprising because, so for example, mine was, what makes you feel happy? I was like, actually, I really love watching people draw. Like on YouTube, I follow an illustrator and I love watching her draw. And from that, I was like, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to join an art class in, you know, one evening a week. And I haven't told you that, but actually I start next Thursday.
This is exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. But it's from doing those prompts, you know, and I know from that art class, I will make friends, you know.
Yeah, you will. You have a common interest to start, don't you?
And I think when you discover what makes you feel connected and what makes you feel happy, and that might be spending 30 minutes journaling that, from that, you'll get the answers to what will help you. So, for example, another thing I put down that makes me feel connected is I never thought I'd say this, but I really love walking, and really only discovered that during COVID times because that's really all we could do. But from that, I got a real love of just being in and around nature. Now, if I was at a point in my life where I was experiencing loneliness again, I would be like, I love walking, I love nature, so I'm going to join a walking group.
Yeah.
It's like it's like finding out
once
what's
you know
in
what
your
it is.
Yeah. And then when you go and once you know what makes you feel connected, what makes you feel happy, then you can find events in real life, groups to join, not online but in real life.
Yeah, face to face.
And you can do those things together, because that way you will find your tribe, because you will have a common interest. And I think it is very much about, you know, finding your tribe, finding those friendships. And then when you do, I think it's really, really important to nurture them.
Yeah, you have to work at them. They don't just happen.
Nurture them through meeting up, putting in a date for the next time you meet up, at the end of that time, you know, doing your voice notes to your friends, and, you know, those kinds
and they
of things.
all build up, and it's all basically an antidote to feeling lonely, isn't it, essentially?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we found anyway.
Shall I see if there's any?
Do you want me to take one?
Oh yeah, if you take one.
Come on, no farting.
I think it's actually Bam Bam that's farting.
Oh, dear.
Come here, Bam Bam. You want to cuddle as
Come
well,
on, little
right?
farty pants.
Let's have a look. Right, I'm going to have a little read of what people are saying. Let's have a look.
Yeah, we'd love you to share what you're doing.
So Linda says running is her thing, and the running community is an awesome place.
Yes, I've heard this a lot. Running is supposed to be amazing.
I wish I liked running. I actually genuinely wish I did like running.
I agree.
I envy people that like running. Thank you, Linda, for sharing that. Stephanie said, I watched Bob Ross on YouTube.
Oh, I love Bob Ross.
And went and painted a really good painting. I never knew I could paint. Steffi, that's right. That's like finding, you know, that, you know, it's finding things that fill your heart, isn't it? And
so relaxing watching people paint.
Let's see if we've got any other comments.
Oh,
let's have a little. Oh dear, Bam Bam. Oh dear. Yeah, let's pat your little back. Let's see if there's any other little comments. So again, Stephanie has been kind enough to write in again and said, it's about taking the time let me expand this. It's about taking the time, you took the time to communicate in a more meaningful way. Time is something you can never get back. Giving your time to someone like that is very kind. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. And I think that is true. Like, time is the most precious thing that you can give. And, you know, remember we were saying about a way to make friends and feel connected is to help someone. You know, it gives you that route in to build that friendship. Which I think, you know, because building a new friendship can be really, you know, it's like...
Well, it's not easy because it's once you get to have that friendship, then it's easy, isn't it? Because it becomes second nature. So you just, it is what it is. But when you first start, it is awkward and it is a bit hard work.
Yeah. One of my friends, Chrissy, I met her when I was 20, I think I was 22. She was... same age, and we met on a photo shoot. So she was modelling and I was on the production side of the photo shoot, and we just hit it off. Yeah, and we swapped numbers, and Chrissy taught me a really important lesson. And I remember her saying to me, because after we exchanged numbers, she would phone me, I think at least every other day. And she's now, you know, a lifelong best friend. Yeah. And she said to me, when you make friendships, you have to nurture them like you would a romantic relationship.
Yeah, that's true. Put the time in.
You have to put the time in. If you don't put the time in, you won't get the rewards back.
No, that's true.
And I will say, like, you know, over 20 years on, you know, Chrissy is like family to me now, and she's brilliant at nurturing.
But I suppose that someone also has the same level standards as you, as in, like, yes, you both have to make the effort.
Yeah, but she kind of spoke that out and said that, and I was like, yeah, that's really really true. Like, when I was at school, you know, in primary and junior school, I was really, you probably wouldn't believe this about me, but
I bet I can.
I was actually really shy, so I used to dread playtime because I felt I was so shy that I would go around with the dinner ladies because I was like too shy to make friends.
Oh.
And so the dinner ladies, I used to go around with them.
Was this at university, did you say?
Is this now on your lunch break?
Just gonna hang out in the canteen.
But when I went to college, I had a friend there. Her name was Claire, and she was so confident, but not confident in an arrogant way. Not like overly, like she wasn't like precociously confident. She was just so.
Made it look easy.
She made it look easy, and the way she was just herself and unapologetically so, in the sense that she didn't worry if people thought she made a fool of herself, if she got things wrong. She didn't worry if she didn't worry. She knew she was a good person.
Yeah.
So she was just free and open with, kind of everything about herself, her strengths, her weaknesses. And I remember at college, like, watching her and thinking, what if I could model myself a little bit on Claire?
Yeah.
Like, what if I could take just
be a bit more Claire?
And I did, and I'd never looked back because
you find someone to sort of like look up to. It's like a role model of okay, she's got a bit of what I'd like, so I'm going to try and
model myself on that.
That's actually a good point.
And I think you can do that at any age. You can look to someone, and they can be a little bit of a role model.
Yeah.
And I think you can hone in on that.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I think that's
a really good tip.
Oh, sorry, Bama. Let's just see if there's any other messages for us. I love it when people write, and it's so nice.
I love going back afterwards on the replay and reading
I
all
do
the
read
messages.
all the messages. Let's have a look. Hang on, any other messages here? Let me have a look.
There's so much.
Yeah.
To scroll through.
Let's have a look. I'm trying to find a juicy
It's so
message.
nice that so many people have been watching.
Oh, it is.
To listen.
Well, I can't see any more messages at the moment, but I will go back after this live. And as ever, Katie and I, it's so nice because after a live, obviously the post stays up and we go and read all the messages. And often, like after work at night, we'll grab really lovely ones and send them to each other. Go, oh, look what so-and-so said. That's really nice.
It's also really nice because a few times we get inspiration where people write in with things that they'd like to talk about or ideas that they'd like to see or what have you. So that's always really nice.
I love hearing from all of you. It honestly, it absolutely makes Beauty in the Boutique.
Because in the office,
the interaction,
don't we? Stop the day and go, listen to this.
Yeah.
Someone's like this.
Yeah, it's nice. So nice. We got the loveliest message yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, that was lovely.
From a lady, from Carol. And actually, she'd emailed in to our happiness team, and we all stopped in the Beauty in the Boutique office, and we all read the message from Carol. And then I was like, it was so nice. I was like, right, I'm going to make a personalised video for Carol.
Yeah.
And I made her a little video back, didn't I?
That was really
cute. She was really such a lovely. I mean, everyone's lovely. We're so lucky with Beauty in the Boutique.
We really are.
Such nice people. Right. Well, I think we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
But I hope that you've got something from watching this live. And do you like these kind of lives? I mean, obviously we're still going to do our makeup lives. That's a given.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like us to make?
Is there any other subjects you'd like us to talk about? I think for me, I really enjoy watching people talk really genuinely about how they
chat, isn't it?
feel. I mean, this is just how me and you chat day to day. I mean, often, we'll get into work and Katie and ourselves, should we go and make a cup of tea together? And then
then Crispin comes in and goes,
are you going to do any work today? Well, but there was a time actually, oh gosh, I'll tell you another lonely time. I've had a lot of lonely times.
What's this one?
Well, so after COVID, there was, for various reasons, you couldn't come into you couldn't actually be in the office for 2 years, could you?
No.
Because you had a lot going on at home. And those 2 years, honestly, like doing Beauty and the Boutique without Katie, that was a really I felt bereft actually.
Oh, it was like
I did.
It was like
I felt so bereft when you weren't here.
Yeah, it was like we'd broken up.
I mean, we hadn't. We did still speak to each other on like Zoom and stuff, but not having Katie in the office every day. I actually used to cry. Yeah. I mean, not in front of people, but like I
Crispin, like, what's wrong?
Yeah, no, I did. I was so upset, and it was like I really missed you.
I mean, it was ditto. I mean, it just when we came back. I
actually think I probably missed you a lot more than you missed me. Actually, to be true.
Well, I mean,
because I never saw you cry over me, but I did cry over you.
I feel like I
think I might love you more than you love me, but I'm cool with that. But
that's fine.
Because I don't mind, because I can take a little bit of, I'm a tough old cookie. And I'll take whatever I can get.
I think it's an equal measure of love.
I think it is. Right, with that, we will send you all our love, and thank you for watching.
Yeah,
if you've watched all the way through, thank you. And we will see you soon in another live.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.